Hello people of World Don't Know Gaming here and welcome to F1 2020. This is my team career mode here's the car. That is white red, called Don't Even Know Racing, just fitting with the name of the YouTube channel. We're going for the Shark main sponsor just because I thought it would be an easy, just get 5 points in the season. We're going with the Renault engine just because I like that aggressive downshift sound when you're braking into the corner. Then I don't really care about the second driver at the moment, so we picked the worst and cheapest driver I could. I don't think there was anyone else I could pick what was 750, so yeah, like I said, here's the livery, white red. There's not many liveries I can pick at the moment because I'm recording this on the 7th of July, because I got the Schumacher edition. Was it worth it? Not pretty sure. But there's the team badge, and then team colours. And here we are for the interview. This really affects how your car starts off.
Okay, we're live in 5, 4, 3.
Hello folks and welcome to the HQ of Formula One's newest team. We've been invited backstage to gain an exclusive insight into what could be one of the most exciting entries in the sport for many years. Now, we've seen a number of new teams enter the sport over the last decade, amongst their number Manor, Caterham, HRT and of course Haas. And while some have proved to be successful, others have morphed into different teams and some have disappeared completely. What marks this team out, though, as being something different is that its owner is also its driver. There's a rich history of that in Formula One too. Sir Jack Brabham, John Surtees, Graham Hill and Bruce McLaren all drove their own cars in the sport, but it has become increasingly rare in recent years. What's very special about this team, though, is that while the team itself is new to Formula One, so too is its driver and owner.
Whatever happens this season, you've already made the history books. Tell me, do you feel up to the mammoth task of both managing and driving for a Formula One team?
Well, I bet as a player, yeah, I do. But let's look at these options. Nothing's easy. Of course, I'm up for a challenge.
Needs two drivers, but what was it that drew you to your teammates?
Well, as I was saying, I picked him because he's the worst driver there, so it was tough to get any driver to sign.
No one aims to finish bottom of the table. Who's the team you're aiming to beat?
Well, the car is rather slow, but so is Haas. But that could change with the balancing packages. Now, I really like a good chassis on my car, so I picked balanced chassis, and I think that helps the development of it.
And off the track. How are you planning to catch up to them?
I think low drag will be a nice way to keep ahead. We don't need to have a quick engine if you've got low drag and a light chassis.
Overtaking is a key part of this sport. How have you ensured that your car can take advantage of each opportunity that comes your way?
Well, yeah.
And finally, which of your new departments are you most proud of?
I'm most proud of the chassis, so, yep. Chassis department really getting a lot of praise in this interview.
That's about all we've got time for here. We will see how this fledgling team fares in its first Grand Prix.
Okay, great, thank you. That's a wrap.
So here we are in the main dashboard. This is where I'm going to spend most of my time, think about what to do with the money and what upgrades to get. Here are all our facilities. As you can see, chassis is at number 1 because we praise it so much. But that also means it's going to cost us more money to run. We also got 4 upgrades on the chassis. That's pretty cool. And 1 on the drag reduction in the aero. That's pretty good, I must say. but we don't have any in like durability or engine, so that could be a bit of a problem. And here we are deciding what to do with the time before the car reveal. We decided to put like an aero and chassis like focused, and then we decided to have a, I'm not sure, yeah, a merchandise sale. Just bring in the money, like nice amount of money. Yeah, that sounds good. And we can't really do much, so let's just advance time to the car reveal. All snazzy. It's like red, white, flashing lights. Bit bare with only one sponsor, but as we go through the career mode, we're gonna be able to get much more sponsors, and like maybe changing up the car livery a little bit. So here we are in Australia, like the Melbourne, Melbourne. That's where the track is, Albert Park. Pretty well. We want to look at the Sauber, we want to see our own car. Here we are, just sat in the garage, waiting to take the car out for its first like drive in a proper championship. I wish we had like a pre-season testing to drive it, but this is the best thing to do. Man, that engine sounds pretty nice. It's not as good as the V8s were, but a bit of wheel spin coming out of the like pit lane. Like, at first I tried doing some like traction control off, but with this like really bad car, to be honest, that I decided to just put it on medium for now, get used to the game. Like, at first I thought like, yeah, it wasn't that bad, but as you can see there, we've just got into the power a bit too much and it shook all over the place. And it's just not that fast through the corners, or anywhere to be honest. A bit understeery through the section. So let's just jump to qualifying. That was enough for me. Like, let's just see how good it is. Like, in a good lap of anger. There we are, speaking to some old guy. And here we are for our first lap of qualifying. Oh, this is the bit before we start our lap. Like, coming through the penultimate corner. Like, trying to get the best set out for the start of the lap. The RS open. Like, if you ever see me like looking backwards on the camera, that's because I hope to make sure the DRS is actually open. Like, it's not like if I'm in like T-cam I can see that it's turned on. Yeah, I just decided to ditch that lap and just try again on the same set of tyres, even lower fuel, but the tyres are also one lap older. So here we are again, like for a second attempt to start a lap. Right, hopefully we don't mess up like we did on our first attempt. As you can see, we actually are 3 tenths down there. But because we go off, we just get so much time. And here's an onboard shot of the end of the lap. Like, it's just nice to see like your own car, like just driving around the track, being the 11th team. Pretty cool. That puts us P10 for now. Here we are for another lap. Like, this is on a... Oh, that was us trying ending a lap, and it just didn't... I don't think it was faster than the one we did on the scrub tyres. It was a bit weird. We qualified behind our really bad teammate. I must say I'm really bad at this track then. That must be the main problem. I must say load times in this game is awful.
Let's have your take on it. Why do you think you weren't as quick as your teammate today?
No comment. Both of those would just give us negative effects, so just decide not to say anything. It's just not worth it, especially at the start of the season.
Your qualifying pace didn't put you at the front of the grid. Will this be a problem tomorrow?
I decided to answer this one because I don't want to just shrug off everything. I think I'm gonna say definitely, but we can do what we can. Yeah, I really took a lot of time to decide what I want to say, but never mind.
Well, here's hoping they're working hard to find some improvements.
Thank you. That sounded rather sarcastic, but who cares? Ow.
Months of rumour and speculation all come to an end today as we return to Melbourne for the opening race of what promises to be an enthralling season. Welcome along then to the Australian Grand Prix. We're a stone's throw from the enormous Port Phillip Bay for today's race at the 3.3-mile Albert Park circuit. It's a bumpy racing surface here, and the 16 corners could prove especially difficult in the wet conditions. Watch out for a safety car at some point during the Grand Prix. Can Mercedes start with victory in their bid to win a 7th consecutive Constructors title? Could Ferrari or Red Bull establish an advantage early on? And with 22 cars on the grid, how quickly can the new team find their footing? Well, it's great to be back, Anthony Davidson. We've got a lot to talk about this year.
That's right, Crofty. It felt like a long winter, but it's good to finally be back. I have to think the usual
long winter. What do you think we had to do with the real season?
So whoever can keep on top of their issues will have the advantage today.
As I mentioned earlier, we're up to 11 teams this season with a new entry run by, well, of all things, an owner-driver. That's something we haven't seen in this sport since Hector Raback over 4 decades ago. So how are they looking so far?
Ever since their participation was announced, there were questions being asked about whether an outfit like this could survive. And certainly it's proving to be a trial by fire so far. Let's hope they can continue to draw in investment and find a little more pace as well.
So yeah, I was really disappointed when I found out it was raining for our first race. But especially when we didn't show much pace in qualifying when it was dry, so in the wet it's just going to be so much worse. But we are going to try and dive down the inside here. Not much room, we actually hit the curve a bit too much there than I would like. But we are up into P18, that's like 2 places gained there as we dive down the inside of a lot more people again. A bit of wheel banging there, but all's fun in racing. As we try and bucket around the outside, we get a nice drive out the corner. But these cars are just so much like faster than us, especially this hat with its like amazing powertrain. Even though in real life it's so bad, the Ferrari powertrain. So I'm expecting a balancing like patch to like put the Ferrari powered engine cars in the right place. I am like struggling quite a bit in this rain, like understeer all over the place and then slow onto the power. Stupid car. I really should learn to put my phone on mute while doing this. Like we are seeming to like hold our place, but any mistake would just let a stream of like cars like go by so easily. As we are there, we hit the curb and just lose the rear end of it. So we're slow onto the power onto the straight. And we seem to get a good drive out of the turn 1, turn 2 section. But they just close up so quickly in the braking zone. It's just impossible to try and catch up to the car ahead. Especially through this section, our car is terrible through here because we have to take it so slowly because of how little downforce our car has. As we understeer all over the place here, trying to get back onto the power, but that just drags us even more onto the, well, off the track. Jumping onto lap 2 now, well, later on in lap 2, we go wide again through the final sector as we have Sergio Perez on our inside, and he just breezes past because we just don't have any downforce. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot, but that's just the fact. Now we have Daniel Kvyat behind us, but we are going to try and go down the inside with the help of this new overtake button in the 2020 game. Actually gives you more like in control of like when you go for overtake. Jumping onto middle of lap 4 here. Like Perez is still behind us, but I'm feeling that he's gonna get by very soon as we make a mistake staying onto the grass a bit too long. He's just right behind us. I'm not surprised he didn't go for a dive down the inside through this fast chicane as we go way too late on the brakes and just understeer through the fast chicane. Carlos Sainz is out of the race. That's unfortunate to hear, but that's 1 free position for us. Maybe we'll see him when we go past, but here he is. He's just going really slowly, finding a place to pull over. That gave us a bit of breathing room to Latifi, but not that much. Hopefully Daniel Kvyat can like pester him a little bit and get past to give us more time. Maybe Latifi that hold up Kvyat. Jump to lap 6 now. Kvyat is the one behind us. He made his way past Latifi. Latifi has been like given a rather poor like driver rating, but that's not too bad. Like, because we don't really know how good he is in an F1 car compared to an F2 car. Coming through this fast section again. We go a bit wide and here comes Kvyat down our inside as we just are defenseless against him, but we do try and get round the outside, but we're on the grass again and just like have no traction. And here comes Russell coming past us. Wait, no, it's Latifi actually. Sorry, just looking at the names really mixed them up as I thought the Williams were still behind me. Jumping later on through to lap 7, we go wide again as like Russell has pulled away, Latifi's pulled away. Russell actually had a moment behind us and seems to have crashed out or maybe just broken a front wing or something. Well, that gives us a lot of breathing room behind us, but that could make this race extremely boring, to be honest, because it's just me trying to chase after Latifi ahead of me. Our teammates were behind, we had to pit at the end of lap 1 for some reason. I'm not quite sure why, but who knows. As we can see, Lewis Hamilton set in purple lap times. Not a surprise there. We're actually going green on our like fastest lap, but I'm not sure it's going to do much to catch up to Latifi here. I can't quite remember, but we might have a bit of wing damage at the moment, so that is really going to hinder us and make us understeer a lot more. Jumping on to lap 11 now. We seem to be catching up a little bit, but not enough to really challenge for an overtake, as we put our wheel on the grass a little bit there. A bit too aggressive, trying to get a tight line. That just loses the rear end and loses time. And that almost cost us a whole second to the car ahead. Now jumping onto lap 13, I think we are pitting at the end of this lap, so we're going to have to push hard. We're actually the closest to Latifi as we've been for a while now. So hopefully we can get an undercut, or maybe he's going to pit in at the same time and we get a faster pit stop, but who knows. We still are just so slow through this first sector. Our car is just not set up or designed to be quick in these kind of conditions. But we are trying to push on through this. As you can see, Latifi pulling away probably with that Mercedes engine giving him that boost of power. I just love that sound of the downshifts there. It might not be everyone's favourite engine, but it is one of my favourite sounding engines. You really need that for something you're going to listen to a lot of the time. As you can see here, we're actually rather close using the overtake button, trying to get a bit closer. As you can see, we lost the rear end a little bit. These wet tyres are really coming to the end of their life, I think. And here we are coming into the pits. Latifi doesn't pit this lap, he's probably going to pit next lap. So that's a bit strange, but I'm not sure what they're thinking about there. Had to make sure we go into lean fuel mix, because we are looks to be negative on the fuel, and we do have to make a front wing change. So I was right with the front ring damage, so that made the pit stop 3 seconds longer, and we're a bit slow taking off the pit limiter there. We're gonna have to push on to try and catch back up to Latifi when he makes his pit stop. Moving on to lap 15, Latifi has just came out of the pits, and now he's 2 seconds ahead as we jump onto lap 17 now. We're slowly closing the gap. As you can see, it's a lot closer as we go into turn 1 there. Tyres already on 10% after only 2 laps. Jumping onto lap, halfway through lap 19. Nothing seems to be happening much. We just been closing the gap down slowly but surely. Coming through this fast chicane at the end of sector 2. Somehow we went purple through sector 2, what really would have helped close the gap, but I don't know how we went purple. We get real close to overtaking Latifi there, but he just covers us off. So we're gonna have to stay behind a little bit longer and maybe go for the gap in turn 1. Trying to get a good drive up this final corner. Nice and smooth on the power. Bit of oversteer, but not too much. Using the overtake and rich mix. Jumping to lap 20 now. We've got a little bit closer than the lap before. As we dive down the inside, we touch his rear wheel a little bit, which gives us a lot of oversteer. But we keep a hold on to it. So we try and go for another lap at the end of lap 21. We couldn't do anything all through the lap, so we're going to try again into turn 1 one last time. Hopefully it works. The overtake button really helping there. Didn't seem like he had much ERS to battles there. And I think that's going to be pretty much all the action for the race. Like, Kvyat is way too far ahead, and yeah, that's it. Kvyat just got further ahead, and Latifi just dropped off behind us, so we're rather lonely in this Australian Grand Prix. Like, the rain just really wasn't good for us today, and neither was this track. But I guess that's how like racing goes. Sometimes it goes good for you, sometimes it doesn't. And like I said, this is a bit early for the game's release, so there might be some bugs still in it. So here we are, like Lewis Hamilton wins the Grand Prix and gets fastest lap as well. But thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll get back to this career mode in the next episode. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.